Okay, so what's happening in 2.3? Let's talk about these questions. What's happening in 11.13? 11 through 14 rather. So it says long division, and so if you remember long division from grade school, this is easy, but a lot of people have forgotten it. And so we'll just do a couple exercises. So I'm going to do number 15 because it's out of the range. So it's x to the 4th plus 5x cubed plus 6x squared. It's actually easier than what they made you do when you were a kid, so don't be afraid of it. It's actually requires less in terms of carrying and borrowing and junk like that. So it's actually kind of fun. Okay, the first thing you do is you check to see if there's any missing terms. I see 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, so we're good. We don't have any missing terms. If we had a missing term, we'd have to insert like 0x squared or something like that if the x squared term is missing. The other thing we want to do is just set this up into nice neat columns. Set this up, and it's going to be x plus 2. So rather than write it the way it is initially in the book, it's much more useful if you do it this way. Okay, now we ask the same kind of questions we would have asked in grade school, but they're actually easier to answer now. How many times does x go into x to the 4th is what we're asking, and the answer is x cubed. Then you take x cubed and multiply by this piece down here, both pieces. So you're doing x cubed times x plus 2 is what you're doing. That's the operation, and you're putting the result down here. Now we do a subtraction. So I change the signs. This turns into a minus. And then you get 5 minus 2 is 3. And bring down at least one more piece so that you can keep working the exercise. Okay, then we go back to asking how many times does x go into 3x cubed? And the answer is 3x squared. You do that multiplication. And this thing is 0. So because we subtract, change the signs if you want. Okay, there we go. But then what's cool is you get minus x minus 2 comes down. Both of those pieces have to come down because we got rid of everything. Since we got rid of everything, we need to bring 2 pieces down. Alright, so then we put a negative 1. Okay, change the signs and add, and we're all happy. Okay, so this is the answer. If there's a remainder, there's not a remainder, but if there were like a remainder 2, we'd be saying remainder 2 over x plus 2. Or you can write it as plus 2 over x plus 2. But there's no remainder, so since this is 0, the remainder, there's no point in writing that term because it's a 0 remainder term. Okay. Let me do one more example of that. 16 is not bad. I'll just go ahead and do that. X cubed plus 4x squared. And there is a minus 3x minus 12. And I'm dividing by x minus 3. I'm hopeful that this will come out even. We'll find out. You don't have to actually change the sign. If you can really keep in your mind that this is 4 minus a negative 3, you can just write it this way. I've seen students do it both ways. I don't care which way you do it. Negative 3 minus a negative 21. So it's going to be plus 21. 21 minus 3 should be 18. And then you're going to just add 18. 18 times 3 is 54. Okay, I am going to change the sign because otherwise I'm going to get confused. 54 minus 12 is 42. So the remainder is 42 over x minus 3. And you know, I might have messed that up. How will I check and see if I messed that up? Again, I don't even know if I messed the other one up. If it comes out even, it's more likely that you did it correctly, but that doesn't mean for sure. So with all these kind of homework exercises, I would just go ahead, x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x minus 12 divided by x minus 3. I guess this should have parentheses, or Wolfram Alpha is going to choke on it. Let's just see what it says. Hopefully one of the answers it gives is this polynomial division. What if I say divide? It's not being very useful, is it? Okay, well, there we go. That's what I wanted. X squared plus 7x plus 18. And then it says plus 42 over x minus 3. There we go. That's right. So I don't know what Wolfram Alpha. Well, it figured out that I meant to say polynomial. I don't know if divide was necessary, but anyway, that sequence of words got what I wanted out of the machine, so I'm happy. Okay, so the question is, what's the next type of? I'm hoping that that's enough. I know that's just 2 examples, but I hope that's enough, plus reading the pages in the book should be helpful to you. What's happening in number 21? It's actually exactly the same, but it has more pieces in it. Okay, so with this question, 21 and 22 are both very similar. It's similar to 23, so I'll do number 23. So number 23, you have to rearrange the terms so they're in the right order, and you have to put extra terms in if they're missing. And then divided by x squared plus 0x plus 1. So that's what I mean by putting in an extra term if it's missing. Okay. And then you go ahead and do this. So I'm not likely to give you one this difficult on the exam, but it's definitely fair game for homework, and you should be able to handle it. Okay, so 2x multiplied by x cubed. This is 0. We subtract this out. 3 minus 2 is 1. Then we're just going to say minus 8. And there's nothing you can do with the remainder. So you would just say plus x minus 1 over x squared plus 1. You'd be tempted to try to simplify that, but it's not going to simplify. It looks like it should, but it won't. So let me go ahead and see what Wolfram Alpha says. So what was it? It was 2x cubed minus 8x squared plus 3x minus 9. And x squared plus 1. And if we get our answer, we'll be happy. Well, see, okay. So it tells us it's 2x minus 8. And that piece we got, x minus 1 over x squared. Yep, that's good. So we're happy. Okay, so that's the technique used for 21, 22, and 24. And also 25. Okay, all of those. So it's all the same technique. Again, there's this difficulty transition between these guys. These guys are all just divide by something that looks like, you know, x minus a constant. And these guys are divide by anything. But you use the same exact techniques. You just add extra pieces and you continue on your merry old way. Okay, and this is a testable and probably not testable. If what I mean is it probably would be a bonus question if I put it on at all. Okay, so that should be enough for that chapter.